Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back for Detox tonight. I know we're getting on here right at 7:30, so I'll give it a minute or two to get everybody up and running. Make sure the sound is coming through okay on your side. But I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Kimberly, good evening. Hi, Alberto. You guys, give me a thumbs up if the sound, I'm testing it here on the iPad. I turned the volume up for a second, but let me know on your end if you can hear me okay. Hi, Ron. Hope you're doing well. Nikita, good evening. How's everybody's bodies feeling? Is that a Brian Boone? The ghost of Brian Boone. Been a minute, buddy. Welcome back. Not that you're not practicing, but since I've seen you pop up on the live chat. Sound is good. Excellent. I'm thinking if you guys took Jessica's, I was hearing a little bit of the robot voice again. She's wearing the ear pods for her music. So there's all these frequency, debates that happen, I suppose. So I'm wondering if it might be her earbuds when she's getting the robot. I haven't heard it too much, but I'm not wearing earbuds or playing music during my classes either. So if you'd like to start a playlist tonight, you can go on the Spotify and select any Detox playlist. You are welcome to it. And then once you are ready, let's set up with any pillows, blankets, any part of your stack that you want to make yourself as comfortable as you can possibly be in child's pose. Tonight you can choose child's pose with your knees together, or you can start with your knees apart. And just so you're all aware, tomorrow morning I'll be doing the live stream here from the studio. And then I'm going to be trying to pull off the live stream classes from a remote location. So I won't tell you exactly where, just hopefully there is a strong enough signal where we'll be. And I'd like to surprise you guys. So in the event that I don't have a strong enough signal, I will post on our Instagram and let you guys know to just continue with one of the recorded classes, whether it's Detox, Fit, or Flow. But I hope, fingers crossed, that we'll have a strong enough signal, and then I'll still be live streaming at 10 a.m. And also 7:30 p.m. in the evenings. So stay tuned. All right, child's pose. Make yourself comfortable. Rest your forehead. So the idea that I have here is a block in between my feet. Perhaps my bum doesn't come all the way down to it in the beginning, but eventually it might get there as the hip creases soften, as the glutes and the outer hips expand. And then I put the meditation cushion between my knees. And so that as I soften, then the belly and the chest have something to release into. So this is all about creating a calm, nurturing environment and for our nervous systems to exist. You may be flooded with sensations and thoughts, and really what we're all being challenged with right now, and why it's so challenging is just a foundational essence of our society and our culture. But we're being challenged by simplicity. Keep it simple. Spatial awareness. Give other people and yourself space. If you need to make any little adjustments here, please make them. Your arms. Now's a good time if you're like, ooh, I wanted to grab that other pillow or blanket and I forgot last night or I forgot the night before. I keep forgetting to bring that prop into my practice. Go ahead and grab it and then make your way back into the posture. And loosen the breath, relax the muscles inside of the mouth, including the cheeks, around and from the back into the front of the jaw, the roof of the mouth. Notice how if you started and your body was not touching one of those pillows or props that you placed underneath you, now it's probably not only touching, but then giving yourself something to release into. And so the release goes deeper, when your body touches the ground or touches the prop, and then you relax up against it.
And take a breath or two, bring yourself back a little bit into your forehead on the mat, and gently begin to roll your forehead out from side to side. You can walk your hands back and keep the head heavy. And walk your hands in as you bring your torso back into a stack, shoulders over your hips, and your head is above your heart. Take a moment to find a seat. Hands resting on your thighs, hover in this space of awareness. It might feel good to roll your head around a couple times. Make a big circle. And feel what you're wearing on the top of your shoulders tonight, the base of your neck, the back of your neck. All right, bring your head back to center, blink your eyes, and yet keep them softly focused as you move through the transition. So remove any props from in front of you. Lift your hips up, remove any props from between your feet. You might want to slide them and have them up towards the top of your mat. And then we're going to come to lie down onto your left-hand side in the fetal position. Head can rest into your bicep. Draw your knees up in towards your chest. Take a moment, let your belly rest. It's a really great position. Some of you may be side sleepers. Even if you're not a side sleeper, you may find an appreciation for this position as many times as we do it in our detox practice. And more calming in regards to how it's compressing and decompressing around the valves of the heart. And so left side more relaxing, right side a little bit more energizing. And so from your side body here, take your right leg and straighten it down your mat. So straight your right leg, or extend your right leg down the mat. And then from here, take your left leg and extend it off the side of your mat. And so your legs are in an L shape. And the right hand's going to come around to the top of the mat, push you up onto your left elbow, which slides back. So legs straight, but not to the point where you're actively straightening them. Just get them going out in that direction. And then bring your right elbow around. And so both elbows at the top of the mat. And feel something in your outer left hip, in your glute, your hamstring. And then you can start to split the elbows apart. You can use your stack or just stack your palms. And let your forehead or turn a cheek down onto the ground. And if you get down and you're really feeling it in your shoulders, in your neck, you can always take a pillow, put it underneath your chest, and then come down to rest. And then you're like, oh, pillow, maybe I'll have another pillow for my head, and then come down to rest. So the first 30 seconds is really to get yourself set up. It's not like you come into the position and you're like, sometimes you're like, oh, this is right where I'm supposed to be, but many times it takes a good half minute or so to get situated. And find the place where you can release and then begin to let go into the stillness. And just like life, it's not always easy to get started or down that path into releasing the shape. Sometimes there's so much pressure, there's so much energy that it's pulling you versus, pushing or allowing you to absorb deeper into the release. So practice not fighting the flow. And stay open to that it's not necessarily linear, and it may actually come around in the end. So it may start out pretty intense and unsettled, and then you may find at the end and that you were able to release pretty deep. So let go of the expectation. And sit with what may be a large amount of discomfort. Change is happening right now. You may have never done this pose before in your entire life. If you'd like to take this one a little deeper for the last 90 seconds or so, curl that right heel into your bum. Use your right hand, reach down with your left arm, and then connect your left hand into your right foot. And so there's a nice little way to grab underneath the inside edge of your right foot. You draw the knee down, and so it's right below the hip and pretty vertical, and then no need to pull, just let everything settle back into the mat with gravity.
And once you get there, you realize why we didn't start here, but why I'm offering this to you in the last 90 seconds. Make sure you're not muscling it. This may really have gotten in some sensations and angles that you never felt before. So start to release the right foot if you were holding on to it. And then your right leg can start to straighten back out. Bending your left leg, you're making your way back towards the fetal position, or it's going to resemble that. Ooh. You feel it, and then the move to the rebound is to release the hips into the floor. So untwisting in the pelvis. Take your time. Make your way onto your chest. Ooh, you can slide any of the props, away. It's going to take a minute. And then go ahead and make your way down onto your chest, forehead, or turn a cheek, whatever feels good for you. Check out all the feelings in your left leg. Enjoy the rebound here. And it could be pretty achy if you're really plugged up in that left hip flexor. If you're really tight in your outer hip, when you're in the vinyasa practice and you get into the one-legged standing poses or the revolved half moons or half moon. On your next breath, inhale, make your way back to your elbows. And we'll set up a little progressive detox. So half frog. Ooh, slide your left knee forward. And the heel is down below the knee. And then you want to stagger the knee out. And so get that left knee to slide out. Untuck the right hip. And so that your belly is flat. Your left inner thigh is as flat as it can be. into the ground. You may take a second to soften the glute, and then you can spread your elbows out wide. Stack your palms and let your forehead come to rest onto your hands. You might feel way up to the inner left hip crease, your groin, your inner thigh could be sensitive underneath your knee on the left side. So if you want to put a little towel or blanket underneath to support, you can do that. If you're not feeling it at all, you can elevate, put a block or a pillow underneath your left knee. And you might feel that a little bit more.
It may not happen right away, but soften the bum. And notice how incredible it's been to practice this skill of listening. Listening, taking simple instruction, making it applicable into your body. That takes trust. That's a relationship. It requires reciprocity. One to give, one to receive. And we're all developing a framework. And through the feeling and the observation, that as far as I have observed, it can only make us more empowered as to whatever actions we take, what words we speak, what we do with our lives, and from this point going forward. I've never seen these moments or time spent on a yoga mat disempower. In practice, if you haven't been practicing detox for a long time, reducing the fidgets, definitely staying in the poses, but reducing the fidgets, allowing yourself the space and for your mind to flow with your experience, for thoughts to come up, but the attachment to those thoughts and to become less. With practice, of course. When it happens, it's literally going to happen overnight, as they say. Your resolve to peace or contentment or non-attachment is going to take place in a single breath cycle. So this breath you're observing right now is as good as any. There's no scale that says you have to take 100 detox classes and then you reach, level good, and then level better, and then level excellent. There's no such thing. It's going to happen in a breath.
If you got a cheek turn, let's start to come back to the forehead. And then you're welcome to slide your left foot back down and let your left leg go straight. You can feel the softness and the release, the neutrality when a muscle is no longer flexed or extended. And then you can turn to the other cheek. You might be able to feel a decent shift in your belly and your low back. And then it might be nice and to just move it around a little bit. Curl your heels over your knees. And do a windshield wiper action, feet side to side. Based on everything we did with the left leg, your foot, if you just pay attention to the feeling in the soles of your feet, your left foot might feel different than your right foot. Like you've got more blood pumping into it. And then pause the windshield wipers. Come back up onto your elbows. And we're going to set up for the other side. So fetal position on your right hip. You can get your knees to come up, in line with the hips, right arm over your head. And so you've got a little head rest. Yeah, my stack is all out in front. I'm probably going to use it. So it's all out in front, and so it's there, and should I need it. And it may take a little bit to set it up, no rush. Let's kick the left leg down the mat so it's straight. And kick your right leg out off the side of the mat, and so it's straight. Use your left hand. You make any adjustments in your outer right thigh or your hip. And then start to walk your elbows around so your heart is pulling through. And your elbows are landing somewhere, generally underneath your shoulders. If you want to pull in the stack, pillows under your chest. And separate your elbows.
And then start to make your way down. The legs have to be somewhat straight and separated for this to work out in your right hip. And you're more than welcome to stay right where you are for the last 90 seconds or so if you'd like to go a little bit deeper. And slide your right hand down, curl your left heel in, and connect your right hand to your left foot. And then draw the knee down and settle back into the posture. And don't worry, it does not have to look pretty. when it's detox. And check out all this feeling, all this activation, communication. It's like you're communicating in ways and in places in your body that you haven't touched in years. And so all of that into enliven and wake up, the prana and the chi flow, the overall health and well-being throughout your entire body. All right, take it slow. And if you've got the foot, begin to release the foot. And let the left leg go straight down the mat. And remember, this one might take you a little while. And there's so many parts of your body in places that it hasn't been. So untwisting the pelvis, bend your right leg, make your way somewhat back through the fetal position. And then we'll start to make our way back onto the front of the hips. And take the stack if it was underneath your chest and slide it out, move it forward. And then go ahead and release into the rebound. Let your body flatten, your cheeks soften, your jaw, and tongue behind your eyes. Halfway there on this right leg, take a deep breath, feel your belly into the floor. And you can set your elbows in for a little prop of the chest. And come into the half frog. So your right knee slides up. ankle is below your knee, the inner edge of your foot. And then you want to slide that knee out and stagger by spreading the left hip away. So that last little step is to take that frontal left hip bone and then spread it out and reset it down. You now release the glute, release the chest. And let your head rest, find a position that feels good. You might fall asleep a little bit, or you'll be in that state and where you're not exactly asleep, you're not exactly awake. If you're starting to experience that in your detox classes, you are flowing in the right direction. And sometimes you fall asleep. I've fallen asleep on you guys many times in the poses. You probably hear me snore. Start to make your way back to your forehead. And then you can begin to slide the right foot back down the mat. And then go ahead and release a cheek or rest your chin. And you can notice all the feelings and the flow through the right hip and the right leg. And hopefully everything's a bit softer. I know you guys are probably sore. And so it's nice putting in these detox practices to release some of that soreness. And it's part of your muscular system's recovery. It's kind of a cool feeling you might have now in your belly and your back. And around your bum, it may have taken something that felt pretty finite and focused. And now you may be feeling all the way down towards the top of your knees. And when you're ready, use your elbows. And we'll make our way back onto our left side. No rush. And we'll make our way all the way around onto our back. It's okay if your body feels like it's about 90 years old right now. And it's part of the effect of what we're doing in breaking it down to build it back up. There's a heaviness and an ache. That's okay. We just don't want anything that's sharp shooting. Soles of your feet together. Once you get onto your back, let your knees fall apart. And all of that we say, or this in perspective, where everything in every moment of your life has led you to this space, this release, hopefully this feeling of trust and companionship. And even though we're practicing inside of ourselves, we can feel the togetherness of the practice. You know, there's a lot of questions right now in regards to sustainability and what you can or cannot sustain. You can allow the breath to be enough and to guide us towards peace, moments of happiness, and feeling content. And while we may be unsure of everything, and there could be a lot of people, and there are a lot of people that are, suffering, and the stress and the anxiety and the mental health and the physical health. While we can't control it, we can certainly allow it to pass through our hearts and our minds and to feel it. And hold space for healing. And just hold space for each other. A reminder, a couple weeks ago I said we must turn on the light
with a practice, in meditation, a walk. But we must turn on the light every day inside of ourselves. We must go inward. The movement is inward. The peace is inward. The beauty of the change, the metamorphosis and evolution of the human being is inward. And please let your legs go long onto your mat. And big toes can fall out. Arms down by your sides. And palms up. And come into this final position tonight. In your Shavasana. Our Shavasana. And it's a nice visualization sometimes, and to imagine that we are all lying in a circle. We do this on retreats. And then take your left hand out a little bit wider from your side and put the back of your left hand into the palm of the person's hand next to you. And so the back of your left hand is in the palm of the person's right hand next to you. And so you're giving through your left hand. Now open your right hand and receive somebody's left hand. And feel the equanimity, the balance in giving and receiving within yourself and to each other. Don't think we'll really know or understand to the extent in why we're sharing and what we're receiving and during this time. It's just important and a blessing to be able to be here. And let's stay here, everybody, open-hearted across the chest. And keep the hands resting, and giving and receiving. And we'll do an open-hearted seal of the practice tonight. And with your eyes closed, you just tilt your eyes up towards your third eye center and your forehead. And feel the peace down into your belly. And may this circle of energy, this cycle of breath, expand with peace and love and kindness all the way around the entire world. Thank you all so much for your practice tonight. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and remember, tomorrow evening, hopefully from a remote location. If you don't see me, check the Instagram. But I hope to come to you from the remote location. Have a beautiful rest, everyone. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.